Once upon a time, on a hill far from the city, there stood an old and abandoned hotel, known as the Ravenwood Hotel. It had once hosted guests seeking peace away from the city's chaos. However, a fire that broke out years ago changed the hotel's fate entirely. Everyone staying there at the time either disappeared or lost their lives. The cause of the fire was never discovered, and since that day, Ravenwood has remained uninhabited. One night, four friends Lucas, Emily, Jack, and Sarah were researching urban legends when they stumbled upon the story of Ravenwood Hotel. Eager to prove their bravery, the group decided to visit the abandoned hotel. As midnight approached, they set out and parked their car in front of the building. The air was cold and foggy, and the massive structure looked even more ominous, shrouded in shadows. The group stepped inside, greeted by the creak of rotting carpets and old wooden stairs. Burnt paintings and ancient mirrors adorned the walls. Sarah glanced into one of the mirrors and suddenly saw a shadowy figure. She quickly turned around, but there was no one there. "I don't feel good about this place," Sarah said, her voice trembling. "Don't worry, it's just a legend. Ghosts aren't real," Jack said bravely, though he also looked uneasy. She that moment, Emily heard a whisper. A faint voice said, "Go back. This is not your place." Emily followed the sound and opened the door to a room. The others followed her. The room was an old ballroom, but the air reeked of smoke. In the center of the room, they noticed a black shape on the floor, a circle with strange symbols inside. Lucas shone his phone's flashlight on the floor and inspected it closely. "This looks like some sort of ritual site," he said in a low voice. Suddenly, the ballroom door slammed shut, and a fierce wind swept through. Paintings fell from the walls, mirrors cracked, and dark laughter echoed around them. Lucas collapsed to the ground, struggling to breathe. Emily and Sarah tried to lift him, but he was unconscious. "We need to get him to a hospital now," Jack shouted. The four friends managed to get out of the hotel and into their car within seconds. Lucas was still unconscious, but muttered something strange. "Don't go back." They reached the nearest hospital as fast as they could. However, the hospital's atmosphere was just as eerie as the hotel's. The nurse at the reception desk immediately took Lucas to the emergency room, while the others anxiously waited in the lounge. After a while, a doctor appeared, but his eyes were unusually cold. "We need to take Lucas into surgery to save him," he said. However, the door to the operating room bore strange symbols, the same ones they had seen in the hotel. "This place isn't normal either," Sarah whispered fearfully. But it was too late. Lucas had already been taken inside. Suddenly, the corridor darkened, and agonized screams echoed through the halls. The door to the operating room burst open, but Lucas did not come out. Instead, black smoke poured out of the room. The smoke enveloped Jack, Emily, and Sarah. The last thing they heard was that familiar voice, "Go back." The next morning, the hospital was completely empty. When the police arrived, they found no one inside. However, scrawled on the walls of the operating room in blood were the words, "Do not return to Ravenwood."